Hey. Thank you for being here. Great to have you here. My name is Solomon Izanga Shams, and welcome to Solomon's Temple. This is it where we do everything. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys as we look at stories and analyze it and get different perspective to it. And that's what we're going to do in the next 15 to 20 minutes. That is. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and do that right away. Subscribe. There are so many videos that you can actually check out. I'm sure you're going to find something interesting and something edifying also. Yeah, that is it. And don't forget to follow me also on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. Please go check it out right now and follow me. There's a lot of content that I put on social media that I normally do not put them out here because these are like totally different platforms. So please go check it out. And I see people trooping in already. Zambia in the house. Sunshine is here, bringing her son. Thank you. Nayo is also here in the house from Port Harcourt, Ufuoma. And also we got Chi Feinbay. Good to be here. Yeah. Your American time, you guys, is very different. So it's good to have you guys here. Hello, Uncle Solomon from Ebon. Appreciate you. And we also have Choni, who is here with us. Peggy from Zambia. Nayo here. Sunday is also here. Appreciate you also. Sebastian from Paris, all the way. And we got from Canada, Jamil. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Cara Darling. And there is Mokopane, Gustav, and Osita. And from Toronto is Warrior Cell. Good to have you here. Good to have you also, Aminata. And also good to have you, Sarah. Abu Dhabi, Rose is here. Malaysia, Sunday. Appreciate you. Me Management, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Andy from Dominica Republic. China from Detroit, Michigan. The Motor City. Yeah, the Motor City. That is Detroit. All the big American cars that you know, their history, a lot of them is tied to the state of Detroit, the city of Detroit in Michigan. Evelyn from Switzerland, Zoleika, good to have you here. Wazy from Ireland, and we got Emma's also from Zambia, and from America is Kevin. So thank you guys. Thank you all of you guys. Joseph, thank you. Joey, thank you. Sandra, I see you from Maryland. Thank you guys. So I'm just going to quickly, bring you another similar sort of in defense of TB Joshua kind of thing, based on what Reverend Chris Okotie, we all know what Chris Okotie had said about TB Joshua. He gave about 75 minutes long execution and analysis of certain elements around the person of TB Joshua, the brand TB Joshua was a brand, because it's business. So allow me to call him a brand. And he did an extensive biblical analysis of what TB Joshua represents, from his name to his church, how everything was well crafted and planned to be anti who God is, to compete with who God is, to create another option as another Jesus, that kind of thing. If you haven't checked out our video, please go check it out. It's right there online in my YouTube channel. There are 2 videos, part 1 and part 2. Check it out. That video is very, very, very detailed. I love it because he attacked what he felt wasn't right about TB Joshua from a biblical perspective. So he did quite a good job here. But what we have seen is so-called men of God, prophets, apostles, and pastors now rising and criticizing Reverend Chris Okotie for doing what he did. right? And the way, for me, the problem is the way they criticizing him. When you want to critique somebody, critique what they said. Do not begin to attack their person. Do not begin to use words like, you know, you need to go to a mental psychiatric hospital. You are insane. It shows you are actually, you don't have anything intelligent to say. Stick to what he said. This is what he said. Do you have a contrary option for us to look at? Do you have another opinion about it? But when you begin to move from the issue, instead of attacking the issue, you're now attacking the person, then that is a problem. When you're calling him, he's a disgrace. No, because Chris Okotie, from the best of my knowledge, in that 75-minute video, he never in any way disrespected TB Joshua. All he did was he brought everything out and analyzed it according to his own understanding, biblically speaking. But obviously, a lot of the people that are raising their voices now, all the prophets, the apostles, and the pastors, for me, I consider them charlatans. From Prophet Odumeji to Chris Okafor to Jeremiah, you know, Omoto, to Joshua Iginla that we're going to look at right now. I consider all of them charlatans. They're charlatans. So they're defending something, a lifestyle. They're defending a lie that they have also adopted for a very long time. So by virtue of the fact that Chris Okotie touched on TB Joshua, it's obvious that he's actually touching on them because they have about the same secrets. They use about the same template of deception to keep people in bondage, to keep ripping people off, to keep lying, to keep giving false prophecies, to keep, you know, bringing doctrines that are not biblical, to keep prophesying, saying it's prophecies, to keep being arrogant from the pulpit. That's what they do. So let's look at what Joshua Iginla. Some of you guys know Joshua Iginla. He's Abuja, Nigeria-based pastor. He has quite a big church there. He has a pool in his church that actually, he said, this is like the pool of Bethesda, you know, in the Bible, where if you jump in it, you actually get healed, or you get you get some blessing, you get money or whatever. And from what I knew, you actually pay before you go in. He's a well-crafted charlatan. And he left his wife. He's still married to his wife, but he left her. He moved her to the US without her knowledge, with the kids, and he now got involved with some girl in South Africa, and he married that girl in South Africa. So he lives between South Africa, Johannesburg, and Abuja, Nigeria. He's still legally married to his wife. I've spoken to his wife extensively. I have papers of their marriage. I can bring you details of their marriage. I've actually done a video before on that. Go check it out. I spent hours speaking to his wife. I have all the details of him getting married to this girl here. They have, even before he got married to her, they had kids together. Yeah, it's messy. So for him to come and defend TB Joshua is obvious. But let's hear what he has to say, right?
Gone to glory. We've laid him to rest.
Okay, let's start from here.
Life.
Oops, what's this?
How do you talk about the?
Okay. All right, let's start from here.
I heard that Pastor Chris, is it Chris Okotie or Okotie?
Yeah. So you see, the first thing there, he's pretending like he doesn't know his name. Is it Chris Okotie? Is it you know, this is somebody that has been in ministry far longer than he has been. This is somebody that was popular as a pop artist way before he came on board, maybe 30 years before he came on board. And now he's saying, is it Chris? What's his name? So you see the elements of being pompous and arrogant and using that sort of body language, using that attitude like Chris Okotie is less important, so I don't even know his name. I don't know his name. So it's just a way to show that you're superior to him. you know. All right.
Talking about TB Joshua. After a man have died, gone to glory, we've laid him to rest. The whole place is calm. The family are feeling the pains of the loss of their loved one. Somebody asked me, why do you like defending? I'm not defending.
So he's saying he's talking about him. What's wrong with talking about people who have passed away? One of the biggest lies that we tell ourselves is you shouldn't speak about the person that has passed away. Where is that in the Bible? Excuse me. Actually, we should evaluate their life so we can draw out life lessons. The person is dead. He's gone. Whatever you say is not going to determine where he goes to. Whatever you say is not going to determine nothing. And by virtue of the fact that he's a prominent figure, right? He needs to be spoken about, because even though his family is mourning or whatever, but by virtue of the fact that you're a popular person, that it comes with the territory, sadly. You know,
in the prophetic ministry, you shoot an arrow, I will shoot it back to you. You talking that is using that and that.
You see, that is using that and that. Take us into exactly what Chris Okotie said and give us your own opinion or your own, expose Chris Okotie. Help us to question and disagree with Chris Okotie through your own interpretation and a biblical analysis of it. But these guys don't spend time reading the Bible. They just come here and they're all pompous and prideful. That and that. What is that? That and that.
I was not born again. Analyzing the name Joshua. My name is Joshua. So it is now an error to bear Joshua. That if you bear Joshua, it means you are occultic, because it is Yahushua.
So he never said if you bear Joshua is occultic. That was not what he said. So this guy is taking him out of context and deflating from what he had said. You should have quoted him word for word. This is what he said. This is what he said in the statement. But all these guys do not know that. That's why you actually know that these guys are not smart. Because if they're smart, they would even take exactly what he said and break it down, even if we don't agree with it. But we know that they actually, wow, these guys are deep thinkers. These guys are insightful. But they're not. You know, just because they carry a microphone and they claim they're a pastor, prophet, or whatever, they just want people to just go with whatever they say, just go with the flow. No, it doesn't work that way at all. It doesn't work that way. And being a Joshua doesn't mean it's wrong. But TB Joshua in particular, there is an intention behind it. Because everything about him was well crafted and well scripted to be an optional Jesus, to be equated to who Jesus was when he was here. And that was the plan. Because this is somebody, do you know TB Joshua, like I had said, they asked him, the first time he started, you know, his church started growing and all that, he did an interview and they asked him, so when did you get born again, actually? He said he got born again in his mother's womb. When his mom was pregnant, he was in her belly. That was when he got born again. Can you believe it? Can you believe what he said? So he's actually telling you that this guy do not understand the whole concept of salvation, because he's coming from a totally different alien faith to the Christian faith. Anyway, let's go to the other video. Okay.
They were sharing the same name with Christ. So you bearing Chris, are you not sharing the same name with Christ?
So he's dealing with the names instead of dealing with the person. He's looking at the surface instead of looking deeper. Yes, you are Joshua or you are Chris, but why are you Chris? Why did your parents name you Chris? Remember, TB Joshua, that wasn't the name. Joshua wasn't the name that his parents gave him. And Joshua isn't his surname. No. He was the one that adopted that name as part of his grand plan.
Pastor Chris Okotie is a disgrace to the body of Christ.
All right. So you see another personal attack. Pastor Chris Okotie is a disgrace to the body of Christ. Analyze what he had said. Tell us why he's a disgrace based on what he had said. Not, well, if you're Chris, well, you said he's Joshua, so there's this and that. But tell us, biblically speaking. Give us scriptures. But these guys don't know how to play around with scriptures.
How do you talk about the dead in this manner?
What's wrong with talking about the dead in any manner? Everybody has an opinion about the dead. Some of the best times, if you want to hear Christians or Africans lie, wait until somebody passes away. We'll come with all praises about him and all that kind of stuff. We only want to say good things about him. How is that going to change? You should say the truth. That's why they said if you want to see somebody that actually tells the truth, there are two people, either a drunken person, somebody who's drunk, or a child. Tell us the truth so we can learn, so we can avoid some of the mistakes that he had made. If he hadn't made mistake, if you need to celebrate him, fine. There are people that passes away that we can celebrate them, because they lived a very exemplary life. And that's what it is. Why do we have stories of David in the Bible? Deborah, Esther, Solomon, Paul, Noah, all these guys, so we can learn from them. Why didn't the writers of the Bible, why did they have to tell us all the atrocities that Solomon committed or all the atrocities that David had committed? Or even Abraham lying? Why? Because they want us to learn, because there's a lesson in there.
Don't you know that those who live in glass house don't throw stones to others in glass?
Okay, he lives in glass house. So you're pretending and assuming Chris Okotie lives in glass house. Yeah, I know he had a problem with his marriage, but Chris Okotie is not a cultic, from the best of my knowledge. He's not a charlatan. He's not somebody that goes and prophesies and do this and all that, from the best of my knowledge. So you saying glass house, you're trying to instigate that you know stuff about him. If you know stuff about him, tell us right now and stop giving us, proverbs and glass house, stuff.
House. You did politics, you failed. Ministry, you failed.
Okay, he said he did politics, he failed. How did he fail? He ran to be president. He didn't win, but at least he ran to be president, right? So anybody that runs to be president and don't win, is that supposed to be their failures? I don't understand. So anything that you try to do and then you don't win, it means you're a failure. At least he tried. So, and then he did ministry, he failed. No. Why do you mean he failed in ministry? He's been in ministry for how long? And he's been influential within his own context. So I don't see that. Now he's attacking him personally. Why do you have to talk? Tell us exactly what he said and why you do not agree with it.
I've told you, if you live 1,000 years, you cannot stand the exploit of Prophet TB Joshua.
You cannot start the exploits of TB. So they're giving accolades to TB Joshua, the person, not even relating it and giving accolades to God, instead of saying what God did through Prophet TB Joshua. But in their world, that's not the way that they operate. It's them, it's their ability. They need to show that it's their ability to do that, not God, just so people will keep depending on them, just so there will be the breach. If you want to relate to God, if you want to reach out to God, if you want God to bless you, come through me. So the language and the words used is intentionally picked.
I'm not talking as a small man. He's
saying I'm not speaking as a small man. What does that mean? Small man, what does that mean? So you're trying to boost yourself up.
My friend, and I was connected to him, and I'm not ashamed. And when I hear him, he's talking because he wants. They were
So
sharing the same name.
So he's connected to TB Joshua. He's shown us here. He showed us here that he's connected to TB Joshua. It's a straight thing. No apologies for it. So he's out there, and that's just the way that it is. Let's watch the last part.
The dead and face me. Me be famous when I'm already famous. Okotie is.
So now it's about being famous. Who wants to be famous? I want to make Christ famous. I want to make Jesus famous. I don't want to be famous. But Christ who lives in me, who worked through me, but to do and to will and to do of his good pleasure, I want him to be the one who would be famous. The last thing you want to do is to be famous yourself. Why do you want to be famous? Why? So now you're talking about fame. And he's saying, no, I've been famous. So you see these guys, if you analyze them closely, you'll see that they're not thinkers, they're not even smart. That's why they use some extra power, divination and all that kind of stuff to boost whatever they want to do. Because you look at it, it's like, they're not really smart in really the way that they deliver things and the way that they argue.
Having a problem.
You see, do you hear that? Do you hear that he used a swear word? That they had to beep it. Can you see how angry this guy is? Because he knows he's the same way. Attacking TB Joshua is like attacking him. Listen to it again. Listen to it again.
He is having a problem.
Wow.
He needs a psychiatric attention.
Now you're saying he needs a psychiatrist. So somebody disagrees with you and brought in their point of view. Now they have a mental health problem. Is that how we conclude?
My name is Joshua Iginla. Chris Okotie, leave Prophet TB Joshua. My name is Joshua Iginla. I am alive. Face me. Leave the dead and face me.
That's about it. So why don't you go and face him yourself? You're saying leave the dead and face me. Why don't you go and face him yourself? These people, they're all ganged up. They defend each other. And remember, every one of them is trying to occupy that spot that TB Joshua had occupied for a while. Now the throne is empty. The throne of the greatest charlatan ever in Nigeria, in Africa. The throne is empty. The throne is empty. So now they need somebody to go in there. Somebody here is saying, so you may not like Iginla, but Chris Okotie is 1,000% wrong. Don't tell me Chris Okotie is 1,000% wrong. Tell me why he's wrong. Telling me he's wrong 1,000% is nothing. You actually don't have anything to say. Tell me, Uncle Solomon, Chris Okotie is wrong because of this and this and this and that. Give me scriptures, back up the points, pick the points that he had said and argue it. Come on, guys, let's be thinkers. Let's be critical thinkers. Ms. Victoria said they're just clamoring for TB Joshua's church attendance. That's it. Remember, TB Joshua has been passed away almost 2 months now. And since he passed away, the church they haven't had a church service. So you can imagine. You are attacking him, he has a glass house. A day they say, Iginla, you're a failure even in your marriage. This is a guy who, like I told you, he left his wife and came to South Africa and married some young girl. Told his wife to go to the US for the kids to just be there. And then he came here and married a young girl without the wife's knowledge. I have all the documents. I have his marriage certificate from his first wife. I've spoken to his wife, lives in the US now. I've spoken to her for hours. I have the court order, everything. Actually, in South Africa, it's a crime. If he is discovered, he's going to face the crime for bigamy because he's married to 2 women, which is wrong. He did that legally without divorcing the other one. and then he went here, and you call yourself a pastor. Mosima said, Iginla is a charlatan, another bleaching fake charlatan who hates himself. Life Season said, that Okotie cannot be compared to these who does not read and understand. They don't read their Bibles at all. At all. Abraham said, TB Joshua being in his mother's womb is wrong? No. TB Joshua said he got born again in his mother's womb. That was when they asked him a question. When did you get saved? When early in his ministry, when people were questioning him, they asked him, when did you, the video was on YouTube. They pull it out. I'm sure you can still find something. So when did you get born again? No, he got born again in his mother's womb. Whoever got, I mean, have you ever seen anybody who got born again in his mother's womb? Because he didn't understand. He didn't come from that Christian culture. He didn't understand that. Exactly. Neo said, Chris Okotie has been against Fatai even when alive. I knew Okotie since 2010 criticizing Fatai. It's a whole thing. I don't agree with TB Joshua, and I'm not going to change my mind. Way before 2010, Okotie has been criticizing Fatai right from around 2001, 2099, around that period. He was the only pastor that was vocal anywhere he goes to. And he has been consistent. So don't say it because this guy has passed away, so he's talking about him. He said, Joshua Iginla is the worst disgrace in Christendom. He thinks we have forgotten his rotten lifestyle. That's just a whole thing. That's just, I mean, this guy shouldn't even be speaking, you know? He shouldn't even be speaking. Iginla is a charlatan. Brunei had me clearly. Born again in his mother's womb. What an immature spiritual. That's just because you see, he didn't come from that background. He didn't know nothing. He just took the Bible and said, look, let me just start a church and allow himself to be used by the devil without having that sort of knowledge of the Bible and salvation and everything. $20.99. What's that for? No, did I say? I said 2000 and what? 2009? No, 2001, 1999, 2000. That's when Chris Okotie. That's what I meant. And you got it really right. Interesting choice of word he uses. The verb exploit means to selfishly take advantage of someone in order to profit from them and otherwise benefit from one. Perfect description. Ebon is correct here. He said, I remember back years back when Fatai, TB Joshua, that is, wanted Turning Point to interview him like other men of God. And when they asked him some questions like how and when did you get born again, he couldn't answer because he is an alien thing for him. He didn't come from that sort of like culture. He wasn't born again. TB Joshua wasn't born again. Just because you want to measure that the fact that someone is born again because they carry a Bible. So you want to tell me the devil is of God because he can quote scriptures, because he can preach better than a lot of these preachers? Because he quoted scriptures to Christ when he was fasting 40 days and when he was on the mountain? If thou be the Son of God. But this is what the Bible says. No. TB Joshua was a Muslim. Fatai was a Muslim, total Muslim. He never got born again. That's the fact that people do not want to grasp. They just feel it's impossible because he deceived you and you think he's doing all these, miracles and he can do this and he started a church. So what? That's why he's the biggest deceptor, because he has deceived a lot of people to think he's actually a Christian. Olaide said, Iginla is a juju priest. He's speaking with voodoo as Holy Spirit. Simple. That's a summary of him. If you know that part of him, then you would know. If you know that part of him, then you would know. Dixon said, I share the same point of view with Miss Victoria. All these charlatans suddenly supporting TB Joshua, businessmen, and are applying strategy to pull the confused synagogue members to themselves. They don't want people like Chris Okotie or a lot of these bloggers to keep speaking, because he's going to expose them. Because the passing away of TB Joshua gave us the opportunity to evaluate who TB Joshua is, to evaluate the life of charlatans and prophets. And that in itself would expose who they are. So Fatai is technically, you know, he is like the template for us to re-examine these prophets. Luke is bringing a point from back in the day. He said, I remember since 1999, Okotie has said that both Oyakilome and TB Joshua are friends and are fake. True. Dear Taopi, yes, you're live. Thank you. It's good to have you here, but I'm going up soon. All right. Thank you, guys. I have to leave, and I'll be back a bit later tonight at 8 p.m. South African time. I'm going to be speaking to an American lady who had had a 20-year relationship with a married bishop. She wasn't married to him. A 20-year relationship as a girlfriend, as a side chick. What happened? Why did she allow it? What did he say to her? Wasn't it wrong for her? We're going to be interviewing her tonight, 8 p.m. South African time. So please catch me. So that's going to be in about 3 hours, right? 3-4 hours. So catch me at about that time, and we would continue from there. So thank you, guys. God bless you, and I'll catch you again a little bit.
Marriage. Of course, marriage is not your normal pop and face kind of relationship. It brings both excitement and disappointments. If you find yourself married in community of property and often delayed in your business transactions and dealings, worry no more. Because Masinya Attorneys uses the law to help you change from in community of property to out of community of property and vice versa. Call Masinya Attorneys today on 084 383 7747. We will sort you out with a High Court application, and of course you get to keep your spouse. That's Masinya Attorneys on 084 383 7747.